Okay, Rob, let me know. Okay, Rob, just connected. And I'm ready to go whenever you give me the signal. So anyway, just really excited to be here as always here at Cascade. And hopefully we'll get a good Cadets win tonight. They played by far their best game of the season there last Friday against Danville. And so anyway, really excited to be here tonight in Clayton as always for tonight's matchup. And for those of you who are hoping to watch the game, don't worry, we'll be starting the broadcast in just probably a minute or two. So just hang on for a bit. And there in the background you hear Enter Sandman by Metallica. And so hopefully we'll get a Lady Cadets win tonight, but nevertheless, you know, it should be an exciting one. And so anyway, it's just certainly been an exciting season so far for Cascade, even though they are 0-5. They've gotten a lot of young ladies on this team, a lot of varsity minutes, you know, for the first time, and you know, a lot of them are showing great promise. So certainly we should be back, you know, above 500 a year from now, and it'll be interesting to see how it works out when we move to the Indiana Crossroads Conference. Now, obviously, football, that's a power conference. I'm not that familiar with those teams from a basketball standpoint, but I look forward to checking them out. Nevertheless, it'll certainly give us a lot more exposure there in Indianapolis. Right now, we're largely ignored in Indianapolis, so you know, just because of, you know, lost in the shadow a lot of the teams there. And okay, so anyway, all right, so okay, Rob, let me know how it sounds now. Hopefully it's a little better now, but anyway, when you give me the word, I will let you know. I just want to make sure that okay. Hopefully it's okay now. And if it ever gets too loud or too soft, just send me a text and I will fix it and I will correct it. And so anyway, we've got, let's see, we got, I think, 5, yeah, okay, we're under 4 minutes to go on the pregame clock now. So anyway, okay, thanks. Hello and welcome to Cascade High School in Clayton, Indiana. My name is Lec Zorn and I'll be bringing you all the action as your Cascade Lady Cadets challenge the intra-county rival Tri-West Lady Bruins in Game 6 of the Indiana High School basketball season. Well, your Lady Cadets are still in search of their first win of the season, entering the game at 0-5, but they do enter this game on a high note, coming off by far their best performance of the season against their toughest opponents so far of the season. Last Friday, they lost by only 7 points, 56-49, to the Danville Lady Warriors, currently the 7th-ranked team in Class 3A. And that was a vast improvement from Cascade's first 4 games, all of which were losses by at least 18 points. Junior forward Carly Gibbs scored a career-high 20, while sophomore point guard Emma Parsons scored a career-high 10, showing signs that they will become the consistent double-figure threats that this team will probably need to get its season turned around. Now tonight, Cascade goes for its first win of the season against the Tri-West Lady Bruins, another intra-county rival, who entered the game with a record of 3-0 and look like they might be the best defensive team in the state. Tri-West has been a very good program in recent years, winning with 9 winning seasons in the last 11 and 3 sectional championships in that span. But this year the team is off to an extraordinary start that goes far beyond their 3-0 record, as the team is playing like it aspires to be the defensive team of the millennium, led by 5'8" senior Maggie Cora. Now, so far this season, Cascade is led by the aforementioned 5'10" junior power forward Carly Gibbs, who averages 9.8 points per game, and as I said, scored a career-high 20 against Danville last Friday. Gibbs also averages 4.3 rebounds and a team-high tying 2 steals per game. Meanwhile, 5'11" sophomore center Hallie Cansdale has established herself as a strong inside presence with 8.2 points and 8.8 rebounds per game, while 5'6" sophomore point guard Emma Parsons averages 5.8 points and 2 steals per game. 5'8" junior Bella Mahan averages 5.2 points per game, and 5'5" sophomore Juliana Schmidt averages 4.2 points and 5 rebounds per game. Now, Tri-West is led by the aforementioned 5'8" senior Maggie Cora, who has suddenly exploded into superstardom. Last season, she averaged 14.4 points per game and looked like a decent college prospect, but through her first 3 games this season, she's 6th in the state in scoring with 26.7 points per game, and 1st in the state in steals with, get this, 8.7 steals per game. The Lady Bruins as a team are also doing very well in that category with 23.3 steals per game, more than double last season's 11.3 per game. And in addition to Cora, Tri-West has 3 other players who average double figures, or at least close to it. Freshman Kenna Kirby looks like another superstar in the making, averaging 11.3 points, 5 rebounds, and 3.3 steals per game, while senior Carly Wilson averages 10 points, 5.3 rebounds, and 2 steals per game, and sophomore Grace Sandlin averages 9.7 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 steals per game. Now, despite playing very well in several aspects of the game against Danville, Cascade struggled in taking care of the ball, and fixing that problem will likely be their most critical key to victory tonight, as Tri-West could easily take firm control of the game in the first quarter by scoring points off steals. This is probably the toughest defense that the Lady Cadets will play all season. And at that, we will pause for the national anthem. Well, thank you to Cascade for that lovely rendition of the national anthem. Now continuing the pregame commentary, Cascade's head coach is David Carpenter, who's 45-33 in his 4th season with the Lady Cadets. Tri-West's head coach is Tom Gleva, who's 3-0 in his 1st season with the Lady Bruins. Well, at this time, we'll take a short break for a few words from our sponsors, and then we'll be back with the opening tip-off. Cascade Tri-West cross-county matchup coming at you live next. The Cascade High School Athletic Department simply would not be able to operate without the financial support of our business partners. We would like to recognize and thank them for their generosity. The official health provider to the cadets, Hendricks Regional Health. Diamond Partners, Bestway Drywall, the North Salem State Bank. Platinum Partners, Allen Irrigation Company, CJ's Pizza, Dunn Insurance Agency, Jill and Ian Bell's ExpertRealtors.net, and Global Construction Management. Silver Partners Electric Plus, Bassett Services Heating and Cooling, and Clean Sensation Auto Detail, and bronze partner Endeavor Communications. Thank you, business partners. Your support of the student athletes of Cascade High School is greatly appreciated. Well, back here at Clayton, we're just about to tip off here in the 6th game of the season for your Lady Cadets. They enter the game at 0-5, but again, having just played their best game of the season last Friday, by far their best game. And they're playing an undefeated team in Tri-West. These are two intra-conference rivals, intra-county rivals, excuse me. This is the 4th consecutive year that they have played. In fact, in the last 2 years, they've played twice. They've had a regularly scheduled game and then also met in the conference tournament. The series is split and even 3-3 in that span. Last season, in their regularly scheduled game, Tri-West won 60-53 out at Liston. And then the two teams, and then Cascade avenged that loss in the conference tournament at Danville with a 66-64 win. So now, ready for the opening tip-off, we have Hallie Cansdale jumping against Peyton Walling there for Tri-West. So a 3-inch height advantage for Cascade. And the Lady Cadets control the tip. Carly Gibbs coming off her career game. Gives it up. She gets the ball and then gives it up to Emma Parsons. Takes it up to the top of the key. Now pitches inside to Cansdale. And now she throws, it's a sloppy pass and it goes out of bounds to Tri-West. And I'll tell you, with Tri-West averaging 23.3 steals a game, we cannot afford to have any unforced errors tonight. So now the pressure on the Cascade defense. And now on the other end, they find under the basket, and there's a foul there. That was a good pass there by Kenna Kirby, the very promising freshman, averaging 11 points a game. Second on the team behind Maggie Cora's 26.7, which is 6th in the state. And the first free throw is in and out. The foul, by the way, going against Juliana Schmidt, the very promising sophomore for Cascade. And the second free throw is good there. So it's a 1-0 Tri-West lead here. Just a little over 30 seconds into this game. That was Carly Wilson on the free throw, by the way. So double team there, and I think they got a reach-in foul there. It's going to be on Cora, you know, and if we get her in foul trouble, that will be a huge break for us. So, you know, as aggressive as Tri-West is on defense, like I said, averaging 23.3 steals a game. And now the inbounds pass inside to Hallie Cansdale, and she's fouled in the act of shooting. I think they're going to get Peyton Walling there for that one. On Wilson, it's a Wilson, excuse me. So Hallie on her first free throw is no good off the front of the rim. Hallie Cansdale impressed me pretty well last year when she was the freshman on the JV team. Only got into one varsity game, and she hits the second one, tying it. It's the team's second leading scorer on the season. And now Tri-West goes down the, and now that's a three-pointer there by Kirby, the freshman, making it a 4-1 lead for Tri-West. But yeah, Tri-West, they went down court very aggressively, then pulled back up, and Kirby got the three. So now Schmidt handling the ball for Cascade behind the back dribble. Now she pitches over to the left perimeter to Emma Parsons inside to Carly Gibbs. Posts up, turns around, and she lays it in. So Gibbs with her first points cuts the lead to 1, 4-3. So Cascade hanging tough. And now a steal there, and she drives it all the way down, lays it up, and she hits it, so Cascade's got the lead. That was Dixie Short. She is one of two seniors on this team. So 3 Lady Cadets score in the first 2 minutes of this game to take a lead. Now, On the other end, a layup is good there by Cora to put Tri-West back up by 1. Now the other end, layup off the glass, no good there by Parsons. And now the Cascade doesn't get down on defense fast enough, and Cora gets another 2 there. She has a game-high 4, making it an 8-5 lead. So 4 quick points, all by Cora, since Cascade took, so far, its only lead of the game. 5:39 to go, very fast-paced start here in Clayton, 2 days before Thanksgiving. And now Carly Gibbs with the ball, being closely guarded, and it's she doesn't put enough on the pass. It's nearly stolen away. Now it is stolen, so sloppy ball handling there by Cascade. And now a short jump shot is up and good there. So Cora with 6 points of her own since Cascade took a lead, and now all of a sudden Tri-West up by 5, 10-5 here in the first quarter. So just what I was afraid. And now a near steal there by Kirby. So Tri-West not at all shy about their aggressiveness here. Tri-West being very aggressive. Cascade's got to counter it. We just got to take care of the basketball. So now Parsons on the inbounds pass off the glass, no good. Jump ball possession arrow favors Tri-West with 4:59 to go here in the first quarter. It's a 10-5 lead for Tri-West, who enters the game 3-0. Cascade at 0-5. I was surprised to learn that Tri-West, and now Cascade nearly steals the pass there, but Tri-West maintains control. Now we got a three-pointer there by Kirby. So she has 6, tying Cora for the team lead, and it's a 9-0 Tri-West lead. So 13-5, the Lady Bruins have run off 9 consecutive points since Cascade had its only lead of the game. And now a forced shot there by Carly Gibbs, no good, and it's rebounded, I believe, by Walling. And now brought up there by Grace Sandlin. Thinks about a 3, then pitches over for a 3. No good. And Carly comes away with the rebound, and we needed that one. We just got to make sure we don't get intimidated by this team. This is, so now Schmidt takes the ball, double teamed, pitches over there to Short. Now back to, and now they got to travel there against Schmidt. Now, the thing is, when you go for as many steals as Tri-West does, there is a danger of committing a lot of fouls. But if you can get 4 or 5 steals and convert them into easy points, then you can take firm control of this game very early. And Cascade still, while they did make a lot of strides against Danville, still not that good an offensive team. And now a three-pointer is good there by Carly Wilson, who has 4. And so now that is a 12-0 run by the Lady Bruins, and Cascade wisely takes a timeout, trailing 16-5, which is a score that, as a Cascade fan, really has a lot of bad memories for me, because that was the score at the end of the first quarter of the sectional game to South Putnam season before last, which we ended up losing 63-52, ending the season of very possibly the best Cascade girls basketball team ever, a team that was a team that had an outside shot to win the Class 2A state championship, and that's one game that I will feel depressed about for the rest of my life, and it really was a heartbreaker for all of us Cascade fans. But nevertheless, it's great to have a nice crowd like this. We've got about 200 people here, which is very good for a Tuesday night girls game. And we had about 300 for the Danville game last Friday. And like with Danville, we have the crowd is fairly evenly divided between fans of Cascade and fans of the visiting team. These two schools, Cascade and Tri-West, located just 17 miles apart here in Hendricks County. Tri-West located in the lovely community of Liston, just 17 miles north of here. So now Schmidt, and now it's a sloppy pass, so she was trying to save the ball, and Tri-West gets it. So Cascade not taking good enough care of the basketball. Now a beautiful pass inside. However, a shot no good there by Cora, and Juliana Schmidt now bringing it up for Cascade. Now three-pointer from the corner, air ball, and it's rebounded there. And we got a long pass down court, and given back to Kirby, who lays it in. So she has 6 points. She has 8 points, a game high. And now it's a 14-0 Cascade run. And now Schmidt thinks about a three, pitches cross court to Gibbs. Now over to Parsons. Now inside to Cansdale. Back out to Schmidt, over to Parsons, fakes a three, drives inside, puts it up the glass. No good. Cansdale gets it and puts it back in, but it's waved off, though. I think they're going to call Hallie for the foul. That's her first, team second. I think Hallie just, pushed off the Lady Cadets. I'm really afraid they're going to, they're already falling in here. And now a drive to the basket, no good there by Wilson, gets her own rebound. However, then Gibbs steals it, though. It's a nice move there by Carly. We're going to have to make some defensive plays tonight. So Schmidt brings it up, 2:14 to go here in the first quarter. Cascade trailing 18-5. And now a three-pointer for no good. And nice save attempt there by Emma, but it goes out of bounds to Tri-West. Tri-West, an extremely, extremely good defensive team. So now Wilson with the ball, guarded by Cansdale. Pitches inside to Cora. Nice lay in there. So Cora with 8 now, tying Kirby for the team lead, for the game lead, in fact. So Parsons with the ball. Over to Gibbs, now to Schmidt. And now a steal there by, and as she drags it, that's Wilson, brings it all the way in herself. No good on the layup, however. Caro with the rebound. And now she pitches it over to Sandlin. Now a steal there by Schmidt. She pitches down court to Mahan, who pitches it to a driving, and now she hits it there to Schmidt. So the fourth Lady Cadet to score now, and that breaks a 16-0 Tri-West run there. And now no good on that shot there by Sandlin. And Mahan gives it up to Schmidt. Now over to Parsons, up to Schmidt. Thinks about a three, then dribbles. Now pitches over to now to Carly Gibbs, who fakes a three, then pitches over to Emma at the left perimeter. Now over to Schmidt, and it's stolen, and Sandlin has an uncontested layup, and she hits it. So Tri-West's defense is as good as advertised. The Lady Bruins over the Lady Cadets, 22-7. And now down court to Cansdale, puts it up left-handed off the glass. Too much on it, though, however. And Sandlin comes away with the rebound, brings it down. And now we're down to the 7 seconds to go. And now a steal there by Mahan, and it's tipped. And Tri-West saves it. And now Sandlin, and she does not get the shot off in time. So after one quarter of play here, Cascade has no answer for the extraordinary all-world defense of Tri-West. Your score, Tri-West 22, Cascade 7. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors on audiosportsonline.com. The Cascade High School Athletic Department simply would not be able to operate without the financial support of our business partners. We would like to recognize and thank them for their generosity. The official health provider to the Cadets, Hendricks Regional Health. Diamond Partners, Bestway Drywall, the North Salem State Bank. Platinum Partners, Allen Irrigation Company, CJ's Pizza, Dunn Insurance Agency, Jill and Ian Bell's ExpertRealtors.net, and Global Construction Management. Silver Partners, Electric Plus, Bassett Services Heating and Cooling, and Clean Sensation Auto Detail, and Bronze Partner Endeavor Communication. Thank you, business partners. Your support of the student athletes of Cascade High School is greatly appreciated. Well, back here at Clayton, we're about to start the second quarter, where your Cascade Cadets are already in a deep hole. They trail the cross-county rival Tri-West Lady Bruins by a score of 22-7. Tri-West coming into the game averaging an outlandish 23.3 steals per game, and they showed why in the first quarter. They've just absolutely massacred Cascade, who just seems to have no answers at all. And the Lady Cadets also have been struggling with their shooting, and I think are rushing shots because they're so intimidated by this defense. So I understand at this point Cascade unlikely to come back from a 15-point deficit with the personnel they have right now, with this young team that still has not quite hit its stride offensively. But what I want to see the rest of the way, I want us to at least hold our own the rest of the way and show that we're not intimidated. And I want us to fire back hard, play with the eye of the tiger. But they're a bad pass. I shouldn't say a bad pass, but it did go through the hands of, it was from Carly Gibbs to Bella Mahan. It wasn't really a bad pass, just Bella didn't catch it. So anyway, so now Kirby with the ball. And now it pitches inside, and now blocked there by Carly. On the shot there by Sydney Ross, and now we've got a travel there against Cascade, though. So, yeah, I mean, Cascade shooting itself in the foot with unforced errors now, and now we have mass substitutions for Cascade. They just took about everybody. They almost completely replaced, they might have taken all 5 players out. So now let's see. Some of these are players who I don't think I've ever called before. But anyway, Kirby with the ball now. Certainly not playing like a freshman. Now pitches across court to Sandlin. Now to Kirby, who cuts back to the basket, and she hits it. So Kirby, the game's first double-figure scorer, she has 10. And now the Lady Bruins on a 20-2 run here. This is already turning into a very, very painful game. Certainly disappointing after Cascade's coming off its best game of the season by far last Friday against its toughest opponent of the season. At least up to that point, I'm starting to think Tri-West is a better team now than Danville. And there's another steal there by and now Sandlin brings it up, pitches down to Kirby, who puts it up. No good, however. And the rebound there by Dixie Short, one of 2 seniors on this team. She had a field goal in the first quarter. The 2 seniors, Dixie Short and Taylor Mays, do not play a lot. Now 3-pointer there, no good, and rebound by Kirby. So now Sandlin drifts. It's blocked by her driving shot is blocked by Hallie Cansdale. However, Kirby then hits a 3. She has 13 now. Kirby, a very promising 5'8" freshman. She averages 11 a game, already topped that now, barely a quarter into this game. And now another sloppy pass there and another steal. So Cascade's ball handling not good tonight. And now a driving layup is good there by Kirby, who has 15. So Hallie Cansdale now. And now she drives to the basket, and it's knocked out of bounds to Cascade with 5:36 to go here in the second quarter and a 26-7 lead for the Lady Bruins. And now Hallie coming out of the game, replaced by Liz Gutig, a 5'9" junior. And now pass inside off the legs of a Tri-West player. I couldn't tell who from my vantage point. But it will be a Cascade ball nevertheless. Now it's inside, and now it's a hit, knocked out of bounds off a Cascade player. I think it actually was batted back onto the to Taylor Mays, who was inbounding it. But so Kirby with the ball, and now coming off a pick, pitches inside. And now we've got a whistle here, a double dribble. One of the few breaks Cascade has had all night. So now Mays pitching in to Taylor Mays, the senior, pitching into Maddie Mays, the sophomore, wearing number 0, which, as you probably remember, was worn previously by Michaela Collier, one of the leading scorers in Cascade history. Now a sophomore playing for Goshen College up in northern Indiana. And now we got a steal attempt knocked out of bounds. The last touched Dixie short, so Tri-West does get the ball. 5:10 to go here in the second quarter, a 26-7 lead for Tri-West. They are currently on a 22-2 run. Cascade just getting absolutely massacred, absolutely destroyed. And now a steal there. It's a jump ball. Possession arrow favors the Lady Bruins, however. Well, so now it's nearly thrown away, but the Lady Bruins saved it. So now into the game, we've got Sydney Ross there. And now she gives it up to Carly Wilson, who gives it to a driving Peyton Walling. Now a layup off the glass, no good. Rebound there by, and now Cora gets it and lays it in. Cora with 10 now. No, they credit it to Peyton Walling. I apologize. And now as Taylor Mays is going for the shot, she was apparently fouled in the act of shooting. So now Taylor Mays' first free throw is up, no good, off the front of the rim. It's a 30-7 Cascade, 30-7 Tri-West lead. Second free throw is up and good. So 5 Lady Cadets have scored, but they've combined for only 8 points. And, maybe Carpenter went up for all these substitutions just because he wasn't pleased with the execution. Now Lady Cadets in a 2-3 zone. We've got Sydney Ross there pitches. And now we've got some good defensive effort there. But Cora pitches a 3, no good. Rebounded there by Lauren Gutig, a freshman. And now ball knocked out of bounds to Tri-West. It looks like Cascade has already conceded this game, putting in all these, rarely used players. But, it could be Carpenter's trying to make a statement that he was not pleased with the execution of his starters. And keep in mind, they don't play for another 10 days, so they're going to have they're going to have some painful nights thinking about this game. Hopefully it will make them better. So now drive to the basket, pitches out there to Maddie Mays there, and it is stolen there. And now pitches over for a three-pointer by Cora, no good. And it's rebounded there by Taylor Mays, who brings it up. Now gives it up to Maddie Mays. Now down court, and now bank shot, no good there by Liz Gutig, and it goes out of bounds to Tri-West. 30-8 your score here. So now Kirby sitting down, replaced by Jacqueline Grubbs, 5'6" junior. And now Liz Gutig there, she's very aggressively guarded there. She gives it up now to Dixie Short, now gives it up to Maddie Mays. And now coming off a nice pick there by Liz Gutig. Now pitches back into Gutig, and yeah, there's a very aggressive move there by, I believe that was Walling, and she does commit the foul. That's her first, team fourth. Only four fouls on Tri-West, only 2 on Cascade, and now the Lady Cadets take a timeout. I doubt that we've seen the last of the starters for the game, but, you know, it could be that Carpenter is trying to make a point, and also maybe figuring that if this game is lost, you might as well give some of the younger girls, you know, or the lesser used girls some varsity minutes and see how they do, because this is still a team, you know, when you're 0-5, you know, it's pretty common to look for different combinations to figure out what works, and you might as well do that in a game that you have no realistic chance to win. It's a 26-4 run for Tri-West since the Lady Cadets had their only lead of the game. And, you know, certainly it's a game that, from my perspective as a commentator, is very painful. But, you know, it's all part of the learning and growing process. And, you know, this reminds me of the second football game of this season. You know, when Cascade, they came off that extremely emotionally satisfying win over Danville, and they came and just really fell in the next week against Monrovia, and I felt really just gave up in the third quarter, feeling the game was lost. And what bothered me was not the loss, because I know Mooresville's a super big time program, but it was that I felt like the kids just like they gave up, and I wanted to see them just fight back and you know play with a chip on their shoulder, and if they were going to go down, at least go down swinging, you know. And that's what I really want to see from Cascade the rest of this game. I want to see them play like they're mad as hell, and you know they're determined to do some good things in this game and never get blown out like this again. So, you know, and now a drive to the basket and Sandlin hits it and she's fouled. So, you know, there's still a lot of good that can be gained from this game. As Sandlin, you know, and it goes to then the foul, by the way, on Dixie Short. Sandlin good on the free throw. She has 5 on the game now, one of 5 Lady Bruins who has scored. And it's a 33-8 lead for the Lady Bruins now with 2:15 to go here in the quarter. And now another steal. And now pitch down court to Cora, who drives to the basket. And, however, it's stolen there by Liz Gutig. Pitches down to court now, cross court. And now Liz Gutig gets it back, posts up, puts it off at the glass, no good. And there's a whistle here. But, yeah, Cascade, you know, at Tri-West, you know, they're still relentlessly defending Cascade shots, even with this game, you know, pretty well in their grasp. So Sandlin bringing it up for Tri-West. I guess it was just out of bounds to Tri-West. So anyway, Sandlin with the ball. Pitches over now to Cora at the left perimeter. Now coming off a pick, she drives up to the free throw line, loses the ball. However, Sandlin comes up with it. And now it pitches over to, and now a three-pointer there from the corner by Wilson, and she hits it. Wilson with 7. And it's a 36-8 lead now. And now they've got a, I don't know if it was a push-off. It looks like it's going to be on Lauren Gutig. I guess she pushed off. So 1:16 to go here in the quarter. It's a 36-8 Tri-West lead. Tri-West following its best performance of the year with what looks like it's going to be its worst, sadly. The good news is we're only about a fourth of the way through the season, so we still have time to learn and grow from this very painful game. And hopefully we'll still make some good out of this game. Still got a little over half a game to play. So now Maddie Mays with the ball. The starters came out very early in this quarter. So now Dixie Short with the ball over to Liz Gutig on the baseline, pitches back out to Lauren Gutig, drives to the baseline herself. Looks for an opening. She's relentlessly guarded now, pitches inside to Liz, posts up, puts it off the glass, and she hits it. So Cascade, in the last minute of the first half, finally cracks double figures for the game. And now a driving layup is good, however, there by Wilson, who has 9. So it's a 38-10 lead now for Tri-West. And now drive to the basket, pitch out. And now a three-pointer from the top of the key, no good by Short. It gets her own rebound, however, drives to the basket, puts it up, and she's fouled. So Dixie Short at the free throw line. Puts it up, and she swishes it. And she has 3 points, which actually leads the team, believe it or not. That's the kind of night it's been for Cascade. And second one, in and out. So now fakes on the, and now ball, she loses control and it goes out of bounds to Cascade with 2 seconds to go. So the Lady Cadets with time for a Hail Mary here. And it doesn't look like Tri-West is going to contest it too much. So now inside to Maddie Mays. Long shot, and it is no good. So a very, very painful first half comes to an end for your Lady Cadets. Your score, Tri-West 38, Cascade 11. We'll be back with the first half recap after these words from our sponsors on audiosportsonline.com. The Cascade High School Athletic Department simply would not be able to operate without the financial support of our business partners. We would like to recognize and thank them for their generosity. The official health provider to the cadets, Hendricks Regional Health, Diamond Partners, Bestway Drywall and North Salem State Bank, Platinum Partners, Allen Irrigation Company, CJ's Pizza, Dunn Insurance Agency, Jill and Ian Bell's ExpertRealtors.net, and Global Construction Management, Silver Partners Electric Plus, Bassett Services Heating and Cooling, and Clean Sensation Auto Detail, and Bronze Partner Endeavor Communications. Thank you, business partners. Your support of the student athletes of Cascade High School is greatly appreciated. Well, back here at Clayton, we're at halftime of a very depressing, dreary game in which your Cascade Lady Cadets are trailing the cross-county rival Tri-West Lady Bruins by a score of 38-11. It's a game in which Cascade hung tough for the first few minutes, led by 5-4, but then gave up the next 16 points of the game and have never come close to getting back in it since. Tri-West came into the game averaging 23.3 steals per game. They're well on their way to, getting around their average tonight, and that they've just swarmed Cascade all night long. Cascade did not take good care of the basketball, and early in the second quarter, Coach Carpenter took out the starters and put in a lot of rarely used players who have tried hard, but they've been little match for the Tri-West players who, and I'm amazed after seeing Tri-West for a half. We just played Danville the other night, last Friday, and they were ranked number 5 at the time in Class 3A. Now they're at number 7. And in my opinion, Tri-West is a better team than Danville. I'm amazed that Tri-West is not ranked. Is not ranked. And if this continues, I'm sure they will be. I mean, how can you ignore what they're doing? Maggie Cora, 6th in the state in scoring at 26.7 a game, and 1st in the state in steals at 8.3 per game. Let's look at the individual scoring. First of all, for Cascade, it's a bad sign, and this is no disrespect to Dixie Short, one of our 2 seniors, but she does not play much. So when she's the leading scorer, that's a bad sign. And then when you know that your leading scorer at the half has only 3 points, that's also a bad sign, but that is the case tonight. And, her being the leading scorer with 3 reminds me of that scene in the movie Animal House in which Dean Wormer is giving some of the Delta members their grades, and Robert Hoover is announced as having a 1.6, and no, excuse me, so one of the other guys, maybe it was Otter. I know Robert Hoover did have a 1.6, but I remember one of the other guys, I think it was Otter, had 1.2, and then Dean Wormer congratulated him for topping the Delta Pledge class. But yeah, that's about how it feels when you're the leading scorer for your team at the half and you only have 3 points. But anyway, so Dixie Short has 3, Carly Gibbs has 2, Juliana Schmidt has 2, Liz Gutik has 2, Hallie Cansdale has 1, and Taylor Mays has 1. So actually we've scored 6 players, but they're averaging less than 2 points apiece. Meanwhile, for Tri-West, the freshman sensation, Kenna Kirby has 14 points. Carly Wilson has 9. Maggie Cora has 8. Gracie Sandlin has 5, and Peyton Walling has 2. So, this is one of those games in which I'll tell you what it reminds me of. I remember back in the late 80s, it was either Kansas or Kansas State. This is back when they had the Big 8 instead of the Big 12. That because those teams were rebuilding at the same time in the late 80s. It might have been Kansas State early in the Bill Snyder era, but they were playing either Oklahoma or Nebraska, one of the Big 2 in the Big 8 at the time. I know Colorado was rising at that time, but Oklahoma and Nebraska were the 2 longtime superpowers. And I remember one of the Kansas team was down 35-0 in the first quarter. At the end of the first quarter, 49-0 at the half. And then the coach, what he did was in the locker room at halftime, erased the score and said, "We're starting off 0-0. Let's win the second half." And they did win the second half, 24-21. So if I were Coach Carpenter right now, and far be it from me to tell him what to do, I'm not, but I'm just saying what I would do. I would erase the score and say, let's win the second half. But more than that, I would say, let's play with a chip on your shoulder, play super aggressively, and I don't mean recklessly, but I mean very aggressively. And we want to redeem ourselves from the absolute massacre, the absolute embarrassment that we suffered in the first half. And, make this the beginning. Play like it's the first half of your next game, which is not for 10 days. Because this is our last game action for 10 whole days. And our next game against Brown County looks like it's very winnable. But, I don't want us to win that game and feel like we can only beat the weakest teams on our schedule. I know we're probably not going to win this game, but I do want us to play hard and just make an effort that we can be proud of and execute well. Our starters, quite frankly, we're pretty sloppy with the ball, in the first half. And I agree with Coach Carpenter's decision to take out the starters about 2 minutes into the second quarter. And we'll see if they play in the second half. But regardless, I just, at the same time, just making them sit on the bench and go through, that humiliation, that's not the worst thing that could happen to them. That could, make them mad and get them to work hard. But then again, I would like to see them, have the starters have some more experience against this marquee team. I would guess that Tri-West would probably play its starters for at least a few minutes here in the second half. And the Lady Bruins now just returned to the court with about 2.5 minutes to go. Tri-West still in. The Lady Bruins have already. They just returned with about 2.5 minutes left on the halftime clock. Cascade has not yet returned. Coach Carpenter obviously had a lot to say. And, the last 2 years, I've commentated one all-world comeback from Cascade in each of the 2 seasons. We came back from 20 down 2 years ago at Avon, then came back from 18 down last year to beat Cloverdale in double overtime at Cloverdale. And, those were much different Cascade teams. Those were junior and senior dominated teams. There's no realistic way we can come back and win this game, especially because we just don't have the offensive firepower yet. I think in a year we will. Tonight we don't. And now finally Cascade returning with the right now a minute 42 showing. And so hopefully we'll get a good second half. Hopefully we'll win the second half. And hopefully we'll do some good things while the Tri-West starters are in the game too. I don't just want to rack up a bunch of points against the Cascade reserves. One thing that made against the Tri-West reserves, one thing that made me feel good about the way we finished so strong against Danville and had me incorrectly thinking that we had turned a corner is that, we did what we did, coming back from 15, cutting it to 7 in the fourth quarter against their starters, including a possible Miss Basketball candidate of next season in Ella Collier. But anyway, before we resume play here, now with under a minute to go, I want to remind you all that the boys' season opens tomorrow right here at home, also against Tri-West, a great cross-county rivalry, 2 days in a row. A great way to spend your Thanksgiving Eve, so I hope you all will get out and join us for the game, or at least tune in here on audiosportsonline.com, or do both. Come out to the game, listen on your mobile device to my commentary, and even coming up to me and say hi. I always love meeting Cascade fans, and it's such a great honor and pleasure to be part of the family here. And they're playing against a team, a traditional power. Well, I should say a recent power, a team that's won the sectional 4 of the last 5 years. Cascade, they did lose. They did lose 2 starters from last team, including one of the leading scorers in school history, Dalton DuBois, who's now playing at Anderson University, about an hour and a half up the road, up I-69, in the lovely community of Anderson. But they do return 3 starters and a couple of reserves who showed some promise near the end of last season. So now we're starting off the second half here. The starters are back in. Carly Gibbs with the ball. Now pitches back to Emma Parsons for 3. No good off the rim. And the rebound goes out of bounds to Cascade. So now the ball inbounds to Carly, and now a sloppy pass, however, it goes out of bounds to Tri-West. So, I hate that, the first possession after halftime, we start off with an unforced error. So now Sandlin brings it up for Tri-West, and a 27-point lead. Now a 3-pointer from the left perimeter, in and out, rebounded by Hallie Cansdale, and she pitches up to Emma Parsons. And brings it down court, pitches down to Juliana Schmidt. However, the ball's tipped away, and Sandlin gets it. She brings it down, and now she pitches down court, but it goes out of bounds to Tri-West. 7:23 to go here in the third quarter. It's a 38-11 Tri-West lead. Sandlin to inbound the ball. And now pitches out to Cora for 3. No good. Rebound there by Sandlin. She loses it, however, Wilson gets it now, pitches over on the left corner, drives to the basket, puts it off the glass and in. That's Walling there. She has 4, and it's a 40-11 lead now. Emma brings it up for Cascade over to Juliana Schmidt. Now over to Carly. Back to Schmidt, over to Parsons. Puts up a 3. No good. Rebound Cansdale. She puts it up and in. So Hallie Cansdale, only 1 point in the first half. She has 3 now to tie Dixie Short for the team lead. And now in and out there by Cora, and it gets a rebound on a tip. And now there's a foul here with 6:32 to go here in the third quarter. So Maggie Cora now good on the free throw. She has 10 now. Coming into this game, number 6 in the state in points with 26.7 a game. Number 1 in the state in steals with 8.3 a game. She hit them both. So, Emma with the ball now, guarded there by Walling. Over to Schmidt. Back to Parsons. Back to Schmidt. Now over to Gibbs. Now back to Parsons. Over to Schmidt. To Parsons. Now over to Mahan. Now over to Schmidt, fakes a three, and then loses control, and now back to Mahan, puts up a three, no good, and the rebound chased down. Now Schmidt gets it back, drives to the basket, puts it up, blocked, and Gibbs gets it, and it's stripped, and we've got a whistle here. Let's see what the call is. So it's going to be out of bounds to Cascade. Lady Cadets just trying to get something positive here in the second half. And now inside to Gibbs, puts it up, no good. And now we've got a foul there on the rebound. Let's see what the call is. So it's going to be against Gibbs. That's her first, team second. And now drive to the basket by Cora. Puts it up right-handed, and she hits it.
Maggie Cora.
So now Parsons with the ball. Over to Schmidt for three. No good. Rebound there by Gibbs. Drives to the basket, puts it up, and she's fouled, and she hits it. So Gibbs now with a team high 4. She scored a career high 20 against Danville, including 13 in the second half. Now, and a free throw is up and good. So Carly Gibbs 5 points to lead Cascade, and now a three by Sandlin is good. Sandlin with 8 on the game now. And now inside to Cansdale on the other end. She puts it up and in. So Cansdale starting to get some offense going here. She has 4 points in the quarter, 5 on the game. And now on the other end, Sandlin over, got 3-pointer from the corner now, in and out. And the rebound, it's chased down, and it goes out of bounds to I didn't see the official signal. So I'm okay. It's out of looks like it's out of bounds to oh God, sorry, I dropped my phone. Hold on. Okay, hopefully they did not get harmed. But anyway, so now Wilson jump shot, no good. Cansdale the rebound, and she's fouled. So anyway, so that's a foul there on Kirby, by the way. So Cascade playing a little better, starting to at least get some offense going here in the second half. And now Gibbs drives to the basket, puts it up, no good. Rebound by Cansdale, she puts it up and she hits it. So Hallie Cansdale now playing pretty well here in the second half. She's got 6 here in this quarter, and now a 3 at the other end, however, by Cora, who has 15 on the game to lead all scores. And it's a 50-20 lead now as Cascade takes a timeout. Well, you know, it's disappointing, but you know, I am glad that Cascade is playing better in the second half. And you know, I did say that I hoped that we would that we should have a goal to win the second half. Right now we're trailing the second half 12-9, so at least we're being more competitive. But yeah, we just the team, just fell in so early in the game, and I think it broke their spirit. And I think now I'm glad to see them playing, with more, playing with more poise now. And I think being benched for about the last 5 or 6 minutes of the first half really, sent a message. And now a steal, however, there by Cora. Showing why she's the leader in the state. She drives in, however, misses the layup. However, Tri-West controls the rebound now as Sandlin gets it. And she drives into the lane, now pitches over. And now we got a three-pointer air ball and rebound there by Taylor Mays. However, her pass is stolen by Cora, who puts it in. Cora with 17. Again, showing why she's number 1 in the state in steals and number 6 in the state in points. And it's a 32-point Tri-West lead here with 3:02 to go here in the third quarter. And now Cora getting a much-deserved break while Sydney Ross comes back in. So Parsons over to Cansdale. Now back over to Taylor Mays. Over to Parsons at the left perimeter. She dribbles, now pitches out. Now over to Carly Gibbs, drives into the lane, turns around, puts it up off the glass. No good. Goes for her own rebound. It's knocked out of bounds to Cascade. So now Liz Gutig coming in for Carly Gibbs, who's had a disappointing game coming off the career-high 20 against Danville. Only 5 points in this game. And now Walling steals the inbounds pass, gives it up to Sandlin. Now a fake on a three by Wilson, gives it over to Sandlin. Jump shot, and she hits it after it rolls around a few times. Sandlin with 10 now. And now Emma finally comes through with her first points of the game on the other end. 7 Cascade players have actually scored, but they've only combined for 22 points overall. And now a three-pointer wide open, in and out, Cansdale the rebound. However, her pass is stolen by Sandlin, who lays it in. Sandlin has 12 now. So, and now another steal by Sandlin, and she's it's her versus Short going to the basket, and so Short commits the foul there. And what's disappointing about this is that, we knew going into the game, how good Tri-West was defensively, and the ball handling just hasn't been there. We have played better offensively in the second half, but, Tri-West is still dominating us on defense as much as they did in the first half, and that's a disappointment. I was hoping at least to see some moderate improvement here in the second half. This is definitely a game to learn from, and I really hope we run into this team again in the county tournament in about 6 weeks, and hopefully do better. But Sandlin hits both of her free throws. She has 14 now. And it is a 58-22 lead for Tri-West. So now Schmidt with the ball, guarded very well by Wilson. And now Cascade nearly loses it, and now we got a jump ball possession arrow favors Tri-West. Well, so now Emily Starnes, a 5'6" sophomore, into the game for the Lady Bruins, and now a jump shot there is up and good there. by Starnes. 60-22 your score now. So now Parsons with the ball at the top of the key, drives to the basket, puts it up. She hits it and she draws the foul. So it's a chance for a second three-point play for Cascade in this quarter. Carly Gibbs had one earlier. And now Bella Mahan coming in for Hallie Cansdale. No good. However, a rebound there by Cascade. And there's a Mahan was fouled on the rebound. That was on Sydney Ross. That was her first foul, team fourth. And now a three-pointer by Mahan, in and out. And now a foul on the rebound. I think it was Schmidt who committed the foul on, which were kind of really just probably a frustration foul on the part of Schmidt there. So now in the last minute of the third quarter with Cascade trailing by Cascade trailing 60-24. And now Schmidt committing or did they call it a jump ball? Apparently they called it a jump ball. I thought it was a foul by Juliana. But so now Emma Parsons brings it up. 24 seconds to go in the quarter. Liz Gutig over, and now three-pointer by Bella Mahan, and she hit it. She hit a couple of threes the other night against Danville last Friday. And now Parsons committing a foul there, the fifth Cascade foul of the half. 11 seconds to go now, and now Tri-West now fakes a three, and they got a lot of new faces in here. And now no good on the layup there, and now Cascade gets the rebound but does not get a shot off. So 8 minutes to go in this very painful game. Your Cascade Lady Cadets trail the Tri-West Bruins by a score of 60-27. We'll be back with the conclusion after these words from our sponsors on audiosportsonline.com. The Cascade High School Athletic Department simply would not be able to operate without the financial support of our business partners. We would like to recognize and thank them for their generosity. The official health provider to the cadets, Hendricks Regional Health, Diamond Partners, Bestway Drywall, and North Salem State Bank, Platinum Partners, Allen Irrigation Company, CJ's Pizza, Dunn Insurance Agency, Jill and Ian Bell's ExpertRealtors.net, and Global Construction Management, Silver Partners Electric Plus, Bassett Services Heating and Cooling, and Clean Sensation Auto Detail, and Bronze Partner Endeavor Communications. Thank you, business partners. Your support of the student athletes of Cascade High School is greatly appreciated. Well, back here at Clayton, we're about to start the final quarter of this very painful, depressing game in which your Cascade Lady Cadets are trailing the Tri-West Lady Bruins by a score of 60-27. It's a game in which Tri-West entered averaging 23.3 steals a game and featuring the sixth leading scorer and leading steal getter in the entire state in Maggie Cora. And it's just been total domination. And Cascade has not responded well to it, although they have played better offensively in the second half. And now they start off there with a nice score inside by Liz Gutig, who has four now. And so now we're probably going to see not a whole lot from the starters from either team here in the fourth quarter. 31-point lead for Tri-West here, coming 2 days before Thanksgiving. And now did it count as a three? Sydney Ross, I guess she stepped on the line. She only gets two out of it. Nevertheless, it's a 33-point lead. And now another steal by Sandlin. And now she gives it up for a driving runner there. And Adrian Thompson there with her first points of the game for, and now we got a whistle here. Cascade taking a timeout. That's Adriana Thompson. She's a freshman, 5'9" for the Lady Bruins. They have one freshman starter, Kenna Kirby, who has 14 tonight. Well, you know, it's been, you know, certainly a disappointing game. But you know, this is simply, you know, this is a stumbling block, but it's not a dead end. You know, the girls will recover from this, and you know, it's my job as your commentator to keep your heads up, and you know, I'm gonna try to do that. I'm gonna try to keep my own head up. That might be the biggest challenge, but you know, it's never fun to lose a game like this. But there are brighter days ahead. This happens sometimes when you have a young team. We could have played better tonight, but you know, this is a team. I would not be surprised if Tri-West, you know, even though they're not ranked right now, if they made a run at well, first of all, I wouldn't be surprised if they won the county championship, even beating out the three teams in the county from Class 4A here in a few weeks after the way they played tonight. But besides that, I really think that, you know, they could be, you know, primed for a deep tournament run here in Class 3A. They're going to the line again for some more points. Who was that? As Jacqueline Grubbs, who draws the foul. The foul coming on Carly Gibbs, her second, team sixth. So Grubbs, first free throw up and good. And her second one is also good. So, and now the ball's nearly stripped away there. Juliana Schmidt handles it, and we got a whistle here. And now you see Coach Carpenter. I can't tell if he's talking to the official or a player. Obviously, the girls have a lot to work on in practice over these next 10 days until their next game. So now, Tri-West still, you know, still taking this game seriously, even with a big lead in the final minutes. A 37-point lead to be exact, so it looks like we're not even going to win the second half. We trailed by 27 at the end of the half. Cascade still has some starters in there. And now finally, and it rolls in. That was Kirby there. Her first points of the half. She has 16 now. The freshman star. And after Cora graduates, she, you know, Kirby especially, I think, is going to be a superstar for this team. And now Gutig lays it in. She has 6 now. Gutig has played heavy minutes tonight. And now a driving layup is good there by Thompson, who has 4. And we got another timeout. And it's 70-31 now. So, you know, this certainly is, you know, the offense has been better in the second half. I mean, we scored only 11 points in the first half. We scored 20 here in the second half, and a lot of them against Tri-West starters. But it's the ball handling, the ball handling, and then, you know, also defensive lapses to a lesser extent that are discouraging here in the second half. And now you see Carpenter, you know, talking. I won't say shouting, but certainly talking pretty sternly there to Carly Gibbs. And diagramming something for her on his clipboard. And he's talking only to her, not to the rest of the team. Carly Gibbs, obviously, with a lot of potential. She's still only a junior net, but now he puts his hand on her shoulder as if, to give her encouragement. She does come and sit down now. She might be the most talented player on this team. She'll probably be the best player on the team a year from now as a senior. But, she obviously still has, some growing pains, as does the team. I mean, I'm not singling out Carly or any player. I mean, this is very much a team loss. I mean, there's not one player for Cascade who brought her A game tonight, as there we have a jump ball possession arrow favoring Tri-West with 4:31 to go in the game and a 70-31 lead for the Lady Bruins. Nobody brought her A game tonight for Cascade. Nobody. So, again, this is absolutely a team loss all the way. And, it's something where, the whole team is going to have to really work on but, this game is really going to expose our biggest weakness right now, which is ball handling. And that's a very fixable thing. When you have, and now a steal there. And Emma brings it down, but it's again, it doesn't protect the ball, and it is stolen from her. And now we've got an uncontested layup there by Kirby. That's good. Kirby now with a game high 18. So what a promising future that freshman has. But this game obviously exposed the thing we need to work on the most, and so now we've got 10 days to work on it before our next game, and I just hope we come and play with a chip on our shoulder and just really redeem ourselves. And and now we got a foul there. Gutig fouled on the inbounds. Liz Gutig, that is. So now inbounds to Hallie Cansdale, but it knocked out of bounds to Cascade. 3:28 to go in the game. (72-31) your score. And down to the last 3:28. Hopefully we'll do some good in the last 3:28. Now inside to Cansdale, and we have fight for the loose ball, and it's a jump ball possession arrow favors Cascade. And I'll tell you that's a sign of an aggressive team when they're triple teaming. Tri-West has a 41 lead and 41-point lead, and they're still triple teaming. And now some miscommunication there in the pass, and now we've got Kirby with an easy layup again, and she has a game high 20. So the freshman, the leading scorer tonight, the leading scorer for the team on the season. There's no good air ball in the three-pointer out of bounds by Juliana Schmidt, out of bounds to Tri-West. And now Kirby sitting down, probably for the final time tonight. Walling comes in. And now Dixie Short coming in for Juliana Schmidt. So now a drive to the basket and a foul there against Walling. So Walling now going to the free throw line. Foul, by the way, on Short. Or on Mahan, excuse me. First free throw, no good by Walling. 2:56 to play in the game, 8:33 your time of day. This is November 20th, 2018, 2 days away from Thanksgiving. And now she misses them both. However, Tri-West controls the rebound. And now a nice steal attempt there. And Cascade does come away with it. Cansdale gives it up to Parsons, down court to Mahan. Thinks about a three, then gives out to Emma, who puts up a three, in and out. And rebound there by Starnes, who brings it up now. 2:34 to go. Don't forget the Cascade boys basketball team opens its season tomorrow right here at Clayton against this same school, against Tri-West. And now we got a foul in the act of shooting on the other end. It's going to be on Parsons, her second, team ninth, so Cascade one away from putting Tri-West into the double bonus. First free throw is up and good. So now Gibbs coming in for Cansdale, sitting down for probably the final time tonight. Cansdale with 7 points, 6 of them here in the second half. And the second free throw is in and out. However, she gets her own rebound, but then her pass is stolen there by Carly Gibbs. And now Mahan for three. No good off the rim. Now, rebound there by Short. It gives it out to Parsons. Now Parsons takes it into the lane, turns around, pitches out to Carly for three. No good off the front of the rim. And then we got a rebound there by number 10, Adriana Thompson. So now 142 to go in the game. And it's a Tri-West with the ball. And now a steal there by Mahan. She pitches down to Parsons, wide open for the layup, and she hits it. So Parsons with 6. Cutting the lead to 42. So Cascade now has scored twice as many points in the second half as they did against the first. Twice as many points in the second half as they did in the first. So now at the other end. And now little sloppiness here, but Tri-West maintains control of the ball. And Walling, a left-handed hook, no good. And fight over the loose ball, and Cascade comes away with it. Nice ball handling there by Emma. She drives into the lane, then brings it back out, turns around, jump shot, no good. And fight over the rebound, and it goes out of bounds to Tri-West. And now Taylor Mays coming in for Dixie Short, the senior, who's gotten a good chunk of playing time tonight, well, and then, of course, Taylor Mays, who just came in, also a senior. So the two seniors who haven't played much on the season do get a lot of action tonight in the blowout loss. So in the last 40 seconds now. Everybody's played well for Tri-West tonight. And now it looks like 17 seconds left, and now a foul committed by Liz Gutig there, which does put Tri-West into the double bonus with 16.2 seconds to go in the game. Starnes will go to the line for two. And the free throw is no good. You know, at halftime they were playing the classic Eye of the Tiger by Survivor over the PA system, as Starnes misses them both. But you know, it was Tri-West who played with the Eye of the Tiger tonight. And now Carly Gibbs drives to the basket, and she draws the foul with 6.9 seconds to go. And by the way, for the sake of clarification, I do not have. Well, from my vantage point here, where they set up the table for my gear, as Carly misses the first off the front of the rim, I have an obstructed view of the scoreboard, so I have to adjust my head, you know, sometimes during the game to see it clearly. As Carly hits the second one, she has 6 tonight, and now Tri-West lets the rest of the clock run out. So a very painful game finally comes to an end for your Lady Cadets. Your final score here tonight at Clayton, Tri-West 75, Cascade 34. We'll be back with a recap and a look ahead to our next game, as well as the boys opener tomorrow after these final words from our sponsors on audiosportsonline.com. The Cascade High School Athletic Department simply would not be able to operate without the financial support of our business partners. We would like to recognize and thank them for their generosity. The official health provider to the cadets, Hendricks Regional Health, Diamond Partners, Bestway Drywall, and North Salem State Bank, Platinum Partners, Allen Irrigation Company, CJ's Pizza, Dunn Insurance Agency, Jill, Andy, and Bell's ExpertRealtors.net, and Global Construction Management, Silver Partners Electric Plus, Bassett Services Heating and Cooling, and Clean Sensation Auto Detail, and Bronze Partner Endeavor Communications. Thank you, business partners. Your support of the student athletes of Cascade High School is greatly appreciated. Well, back here at Clayton for a final time tonight, where your Cascade Cadets have followed their best game of the season with their worst game of the season. They were thoroughly dominated by the cross-county rival Tri-West Lady Bruins and end up losing by a score of 75-34. It's a game in which Cascade hung tough for about half a quarter, leading 5-4. However, from that point, Tri-West scored the next 16 points and had a firm grip on the game the rest of the way. They entered the game averaging an extraordinary 23.3 steals per game and sporting the state leader in steals in Maggie Cora, who averaged 8.3 a game, and also entered the game as the sixth leading scorer in the state with 26.7 a game. And the Lady Cadets just never responded well to the blitzing, swarming defense of Tri-West. They had no answers for it at all and didn't get much offense going at all until the second half. And just played basically much of the game like they were intimidated, like they were over their heads, and just lost their confidence, which was especially, disappointing after how well they played against Danville, losing by only 7 to the, a fifth-ranked team in Class 3A, whereas we're a Class 2A team. Look at the individual scoring. First of all, for your Cascade Cadets, Hallie Cansdale led the way with 7 points, followed by Carly Gibbs with 6, Liz Gutig with 6, Emma Parsons with 6, Dixie Short with 3, Bella Mahan with 3, Juliana Schmidt with 2, and Taylor Mays with 1. Meanwhile, for the Tri-West Lady Bruins, freshman Kenna Kirby actually led the way with 20, followed by the sixth leading scorer in the state coming into tonight, Maggie Cora, who had a modest, by her standards, 17, nearly 10 below her average. Meanwhile, Gracie Sandlin had 14, and then Carly Wilson nearly gave the Lady Bruins a fourth double-figure score. She finished just under the wire with 9. In addition, freshman Adriana Thompson scored 5. Peyton Walling scored 4. And then Emily Starnes had 2. Sydney Ross had 2. And Jacqueline Grubbs had 2. So, in conclusion, this was a game going in, after the Danville game on Friday night, I felt pretty good. I thought this game might be a toss-up, because, these are both 3A, Danville and Tri-West are both 3A teams. We lost to the number 5 3A team in the state, the number 5 ranked Class 3A team in the state by only 7, so it stood to reason that we, could beat an unranked 3A team. But then when I saw the numbers that Tri-West has been putting up, and they also average 66 points a game, which is excellent. But their defense, especially, the 23.3 steals a game, and the state leader in steals in Maggie Cora with 8.3 a game, I started to get nervous, and my nervousness proved to be justified. It was pretty obvious about halfway through the first quarter that we were in over our heads and that we had no answers to the defense. But Look, we all wish this game had not have happened. And let me tell you something. Bob Knight said in the book, A Season on the Brink, I am so depressed I don't want to talk. And Nick Nolte repeated that line in the movie Blue Chips. Well, right now, I'm so depressed I don't want to talk, but unfortunately it's my job to talk about this stuff. So here I am. So now what I'm going to try to do, having wished that this game had never happened, since we can't change that it did, I'm just going to try to make as much positive out of it as possible. And, one positive about this is that we have 10 days to think about this loss, our worst game of the season. And my hope is that thinking about it for 10 days will, make us mad and want to come out and redeem ourselves and have 10 very good days of practice. Well, 9, I guess 8 we'll probably take Thanksgiving off and then take next Sunday off. But other than that, hopefully we'll just practice very hard every day. And, clearly this exposes that we have to, work on our ball handling, and we have to learn to handle defensive pressure if we're going to be a good team this season. And if you're going to have, an awful game like this, and this was an awful game, make no mistake about it, especially the first half, The first half was a disaster from top to bottom. Second half, we at least showed some signs of life on offense. Scored 23 points in the second half, and a good chunk of them against Tri-West starters. It's not like we were running it up in garbage minutes like some teams do. But going forward, if you're going to have an awful game like this, it's best to do it early in the season. I've seen teams, early in the season, midway through the season, have an awful game, and it exposed a weakness they had, and they figured out what they needed to work on, and they worked on it and got better and ended up having a good season, or maybe even in the latter half of the season. Like I remember, all you Colts fans who were following the team closely back then, you go back to the 2006 season, I think it was our 12th or 13th game, when Jacksonville got 375 rushing yards against us, and I thought there was no way we were going to win the Super Bowl that year. And of course, we did, amazingly, and we got the defense turned around in time, and that was much later in the season. So we can get this turned around. And keep in mind, Tri-West is a Class 3A team. They're probably better than anybody in our sectional. So this season is not lost by any means. We're 0-6 now. We were 0-6 last year. Then evened our record at 9-9, and then 12-12, finished at 12-13. I don't think we're going to have a record that good this year, because last year we did have 7 seniors. But I do think we are going to, win a fair number of games this year, and really set ourselves up for next season. I said in the post-game show of our sectional championship game loss to South Putnam last season, I felt we were going to win about 7 games this season. I still think that's where we're going to finish roughly, hopefully a little more. But, I see a parallel to the football season. We started off the season with a huge monumental win over Danville, who was ranked 6th in the state at the time in Class 3A. Well, we're 2A in football as well, like in basketball. And then the next week we came and played Monrovia on the road and lost 38-0 in a game in which we really just seemed to give up in the third quarter. And, I really wanted us to play, with a chip on our shoulder. And just I wanted to see us make some big hits and show, like, we're mad. And, we're going to, really just vent all our anger out on Monrovia the rest of this game and then take it into our next game. And now we did come back, and we went 5-6 in the regular season, 2 more wins this year than last year in football. But it was just the effort from my standpoint, the last quarter and a half of that game against Tri-West, that was the big disappointment for me. And so, I'm hoping that this game, following our, because like in football, like with those 2 football games between Danville and Monrovia, we followed our best performance of the year with our worst performance of the year. Like we had our best performance in girls basketball last Friday against Danville, our worst performance of the season tonight. So hopefully it'll all get better from here, and at the end of the season we'll look back and think, that 41-point loss to Tri-West. It was painful, but, it made us better. And, it was the turning point of our season. It got us to fix what needed to be fixed. And, if it weren't for that game, we might not have fixed those things and become a good team this year. And I think we are going to end up being at least a decent team this season, and I think we're going to be a good team next season because we only lose, Short and Taylor Mays, neither of whom contributes a lot. We're going to return all of our starters, and I think, Carly and Emma and Hallie and, several of the other girls on the team, and when we get Taylor Norris back too, I think, when we get all that taken care of, when all these girls are upperclassmen next season, and Liz Gutig did some good things tonight too. Once we get, once all those girls are upperclassmen, and once they have a lot of varsity experience, then I think, they're going to have a really big year. I think next year we're going to be, probably a 13, 14, 15 win team. And a lot can change since then. We can have injuries or we can have players unexpectedly get better. But I think next year, if we're healthy, we're going to be a very good team. And I think one reason why we're a little below where we should be right now is because last year we were so senior dominated with 7 seniors, including 4 full-time starters. We never got the chance to develop a lot of these girls, give them the varsity minutes that they really should have gotten. So I think they're a little behind for that because of that reason right now. But you give them a full year of varsity action under their belts, and they're going to grow a lot from it. So keep your heads up, and keep on getting out here and support. Keep on getting out here and supporting these girls. It's easy to get your head down and give up on the season after a loss like this, but we're going to have some big wins this year, I guarantee you. And it's important that you get out here and let the girls know, you still love them, you're still supporting them, you still believe in them. And when we have great success in the future, hopefully some great wins this season and even more so next season, when I think we're going to be in position to make a run at another sectional championship, it'll mean more to them if they remember that we stood with them and supported them through, this game tonight. That we understood that it's not the end of the program. It's not a dead end. It's just a stumbling block. It's a growing pain. It's all part of the process as we move up the ladder. So there are better days ahead and in the very near future. The very near future starts 10 days from now when we are visited by our next opponent, the Brown County Eagles. That will be a week from Friday. That will be November the 30th as part of a boys-girls varsity doubleheader that we'll be bringing to you right here on audiosportsonline.com. The girls' game will start at 6 o'clock. Brown County is a very beatable team. We're on a 7-game we're on a 7-game winning streak against the Lady Eagles. They do look like they're turning the corner now after 4 consecutive winning seasons. They currently have a record of 2-2. They beat Bloomfield. They beat Bloomfield, a Class 1A team, by only 1 point, and then another 1A team, Hauser, 63-30. However, they also lost by only 1 point to Class 4A Bloomington North and by 15 to Class 3A Northview. So it's been a mixed season so far for the Lady Eagles, and they do have 3 double-figure scores, and none of whom are seniors, by the way. They have Allison Stogsdill, who averages 15 points and 4.8 points, as well as 3 assists, 15.8 points, 4.8 rebounds, and 3 assists, as well as 3.8 steals per game. And the 3.8, usually that would scare me, but after, Maggie Cora, who averaged 8.3 coming into tonight, and not to mention, a lot of her other teammates averaging about 4 steals a game, that doesn't sound too scary suddenly. But then, in addition, they have Gracie Matlock, a very strong inside player who averages 12.3 points and 8.5 rebounds a game. And also, in addition, Anna Fleetwood, who averages 10.5 points and 4 rebounds a game. And then, of course, we'll have the boys' teams from those 2 respective schools play right afterwards. Hope you all will get out there for that. And I hope you all will get out here tomorrow night as the boys open their season. Last season, the cadets went last season. The Cadets went 10-13 and finished the season on a sour note. They had an up and down regular season. Started to play well. They started off 5-9, then won 4 games in a row. But then they lost their regular season finale, their senior day game against Covenant Christian, on a last-second shot, and when we had an all-out collapse in the final seconds, and then we lost our first sectional game against North Putnam after leading by, I believe, 19 points in the second quarter. So certainly, I think the message that head coach Chris DuBois is going to be sending to his kids this season is finish. That word, they got to close out games. So anyway, they do lose 2 starters from last season. Starting center Chris DuBois, one of the leading scorers in state history, who averaged 19 points a game, now playing at Anderson University, an NCAA Division III school. As well as Michael Alderson, their point guard, who was the team's second leading scorer with 7.8 points a game and 3.6 assists a game, leading the team in that category. However, they do return 4 players. Now, none of them had flashy stats last season, but Benson Walker at 6'6" does give us some good size. He averaged 4.7 points and 3.5 rebounds a game, and I think now with Chris DuBois being gone, Walker's going to have a chance to put up a lot of big numbers. He's going to be probably taller than anybody that a lot of our opponents have. And then also Ross Stevenson, our starting power forward, undersized at 5'11", doesn't put up a lot of stats, averaged only 3.3 points and 2.5 rebounds a game last year, but he does, he gets inside, does a lot of the dirty work, and is, a more effective player than his stats imply. And then we have a 6'1" junior guard, Mason Tharp, who averaged a modest 4.7 points per game last year, but he did score double figures in 4 of our last 8. And then also Bryson Phillips, a 5'9" guard, who will be a senior this year, only 2.2 points a game, but he did score double figures in 2 of our last 6. So those 2 guys, Phillips and Tharp, they started to get more chances and do pretty well with them late in the season. And if all 4 of those guys have banner senior seasons, then we have a chance to be a very competitive team as well, and especially with Jalen Moore having graduated from Cloverdale, one of the leading scorers in state history. The sectionals should be pretty wide open this year, where even if we're not a great team, we might have a shot to make a run at the sectional championship anyway. So, I hope you all will get out here tomorrow night, Thanksgiving Eve, so you can afford to stay out late. You don't have to be at work on Thursday morning, I assume. I guess most of us don't, at least. And so we're going to be playing Tri-West. The Bruins have established themselves as a major power, winning 4 sectionals in the last 5 years. However, they lost most of their They lost most of their starting lineup from last season to graduation. So hard to tell how they're going to be this year. They could be the most beatable team that they've been in a while. So anyway, we'll be bringing you that one at audiosportsonline.com. 7:15 for the pregame show, and then 7:30 for the tip-off, or approximately, depending on what time the JV game ends. So I hope you all will get out here for that one as well. And and if not, tune in on Audio Sports Online, or do both. Just come out to the game and listen on your mobile device. So anyway, in conclusion, a disappointing loss tonight, but nevertheless, we're gonna make a lot of good out of it, and this game, could end up, losing by 41 is never fun, but this game could be the best thing that's ever happened to us if we'll let it be, and I think we will let it be. And we're going to look back and think that this is, a game that really was really led to the team turning a corner and fixing things that needed to be fixed, and becoming a very good team that we're proud of. So once again, your final score here tonight at Clayton: Tri-West 75, Cascade 34. The Lady Bruins climbed to 4-0, while the Lady Cadets dropped to 0-6, but I guarantee you there are some wins on the way in the very near future. Well, this concludes our broadcast. As always, thank you so much for joining me, and I cordially invite you to do so again tomorrow at 7:15 for the pregame show as the Cascade Cadets boys team opens their season against the Tri-West Bruins, and then a week from Friday at the special start time of 5:45 p.m., that's on November 30th, as your Cascade Cadets play the Brown County Eagles in a boys-girls varsity doubleheader. Until then, for audiosportsonline.com, this is Lec Zorn reminding you there is a difference only you can make.